I know that your network may not be that good. Please make sure you keep logging in. If it kicks you out, please make sure you're getting back in again. We will make this video available to you as well, so that if there's anything you have missed, you can go back and watch the video.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Uh, thank you for the responses. Okay, so having created your folder, so it is time to create the image subfolder. Now listen, for the images subfolder, you have to ensure that this folder is created inside the main folder you created. All right, it's fine, it's fine. So you have to ensure that the images, and that's why I call it a subfolder. It must be a subfolder of the main folder you created. Now, if we check this, let me see if I can use my annotate here. All right. So if you check this, you can see the summer coding folder that I created. And the images is now nested inside the summer coding folder. So which means you must ensure that you've already clicked on the summer coding before going to create, before creating your images. Do you all understand? We are going to go again by confirming if you have created images subfolder. If you have created that, please yes in the chat box. Let me see. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Thank you, Treasure. All right. Thank you, Fable. I can see Fable. And if you have not created this, just put no. Put no in that so that I don't just capture people that have created it. If you have not created the images folder, put no in the chat box too. If you have created it, put yes. If you have not created it, put no. Let's make that snappy because of our time. For the sake of people going, okay, I can see Shemilore, I can see Victoria. All right, all right. Since I have them two to that, which means I'm going to treat this. Okay, it is as simple as creating the main folder. Do you understand? Still the same process. Like I said, you must ensure you've navigated into the summer coding, which is the main folder you created. So once you are done, you will still see this plus sign showing here. Click on the plus sign, click on the plus sign, and you will see new folder. Just put images. Click on the plus sign. This is the plus sign. Click on it, and it will pop up this new folder. Type images and click on create. All right, fine, fine. For those who have not created it, please let's do that right away. Click on the plus sign and type images. Once you are done typing, click on create. Okay. So once you click on create, it means you have now created your images. You've created your subfolder. You've created your subfolder. Please don't go out of it. Don't get out. Just stay there because we are going to start creating our files in that same order. Just remain there. If you have created your images, stay there. All right, Oluwatosin, where I can see you, and that's why I'm repeating this. In the folder, in the parent folder, okay, let me use the word parent. In the parent folder called summer coding camp for me. Do you understand? Yours might be your name or the name of your project. It's fine. But for me, I named mine as summer coding. So in that parent folder, click on the plus sign and create a new folder. Call it images. And when you are done, click on create. All right. So I haven't done that. The next step, still in the same folder. Still in the same folder. Sorry uh for those people network is really dealing with. So sorry about that. All right. So once you are logged out, please join back. If you are logged out, join again. All right, still the same process, right? Now, click on that plus sign again. And this time around, we are creating a file, not a folder. Please don't get this mixed up. We are creating a file now, not a folder. So what of the one you said we should name as file.html? Good. The one I asked you to name as file.html, if you have done that, good. If you have not done it, focus, just listen to this. If you have done it, good for you. Just hold on till we go to the next one. But if you are yet to do that, still on inside that folder, click on the plus sign and create a file. I see Bomi has created our own index.html folder, which is very, very good. Do you understand? But if you have not done that, click on the plus sign again, the plus sign again. And this time around, please and please don't click on folder, click on file. Index.html is a file, not a folder. Do you understand? Because we want to write into it, and that's why we are writing. In your school, you have a bag. You don't write in your bag, you write in your notes. The note is the file, your bag is a folder. Do you understand? So that's why we want to create a file whereby we can write our code, our HTML code. Please click on file, and once you click, it will pop out this same thing. And now there is this directory I want you to focus on. I want you to pay attention to this. You can see my summer coding. It's telling me that what I want to create is, I'm creating a file in my summer coding parent folder. In my summer coding parent folder. Can you see this? Let me use another color so that. All right. This is what I'm talking about. It's telling me that what I'm creating it in my summer coding parent folder. So type index.html. All right. So you can use any name .html, but what I'm concerned about is the extension, which is .html. If you are getting an image, like a image folder, you say .jpeg or .jpg. So the extension we use in HTML is .index. If you don't put it, you see that you will not be able to, you encounter issue when it's time for you to your code. And that is why it is important, so that your code editor, your code studio, we know that this is what is it called? This is HTML file. you must use the .html extension. Please, this is very, very important. It is very, very, very important. All right. So you can type, I'm going to clean this and click on create. All right. If you have done that, can you put HTML so that I don't miss your yes with the former yes? Put HTML in the folder, in the chat box, I mean. Put HTML in the chat box if you have successfully created your HTML file. Whether before or now, put HTML in the chat box. Just type HTML, HTML. All right, I'm yet to get a response. Okay, thank you, Nyoluwa, for taking the lead. Thank you, Gomi. Oh, good. Let's go, ladies. HTML, just put HTML. Thank you. Oh, Francisca. All right, two more response. Two more, then we are good to go. Thank you. All right, good. All right. So now I'm sure that you've created your HTML file. All right, good, good. Still in the same order, don't get out of the folder, please. Don't get out of the folder. Just remain there. We are going to make use of that uh plus sign again. But this time around, we are creating a CSS file. Now, the reason why you need to create this, because we are writing another dimension of code that is different from the one we wrote during the school coding session. During the school coding session, you understand what I'm saying? Maybe when we will start writing CSS. So this time around, we are creating a CSS file. You know, we've created one called HTML. Thank you, Coin, so I can see you. We've created one file called HTML. This time around, we are creating another file called CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. We've taught you that. So we are creating a file for CSS. Click on the plus sign again, the same process. Click on the plus sign again and click on file. Then when you have this pop-up, type in style.css. I would advise you use style.css. Let's stick to style for now. Do you understand? Let's stick to style.
Okay, so just a minute, Mr. Victor. I know that was it Ayapunemi that was in the breakout room with Mr. Toby. She's been able to successfully her folder. I think she needs the path for the HTML. So just want to let her know that she can create the HTML later, but she can join in to create this CSS file.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So Ayapunemi, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. Still the same. If you have created your images, she created her own her images subfolder. Mrs. O, she created her images subfolder.
Mr. Toby, do you want to answer that?
No, she has not. She just created the main folder,
All
okay,
right.
we're gonna.
If
do
it's
you want
possible,
to? Yeah, let's move her back into the breakout room. Mr. Toby, can you please help the folders and files since she's behind? So I'll reopen that so that she can catch up.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
all right. Okay, thank you for that. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go. Now, if you are creating this time around, we are creating a CSS file. Like I said, please let's stick to style. Just put your style.css. And like I said, .css is the extension for CSS, for CSS file. And that's why it is important that you put in your style. you put in your .css. It is very, very, very important so that you don't end up writing a CSS code and it's not working. Do you understand? Please ensure you are putting .css. So put style.css and click on create. And like our cursor, if you have done that, in the chat box, put CSS. Just type CSS in the chat box. Type CSS in the chat box. Thank you, Neolua, for taking the lead. Thank you, Neolua, for taking the lead. Thank you, Bumi. All right, thank you, Treasure. If you are just joining, we are creating a CSS file. If you are just joining, we are creating a CSS file. The same way you created your HTML file, click on the plus sign, click on the plus sign, and in the drop down, you click on file, not folder, not folder, not folder, not folder. Please take notes, not folder, not folder. Click on file and type in style.css. Don't miss this extension. It is very, very, very important so that you don't end up writing a code that is not working. Please type .css. .css. See, I am not I may not pay attention to the name you use, but what I'm concerned about is the extension. It is very, 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 very important. Your Code Studio will not recognize that file if the extension is not right. Please take note. .css and click on create. Yeah, I can see many students. All right. Okay, we have more than 6 students already. Thank you, Oluwatosin. Thank you, Sola. That's good. All right, so we are done with that. Now the next one is the JavaScript. I know some of you have heard about JavaScript before. Yes, JavaScript. Even hearing the names excites me a lot. So we are going to create a JavaScript file. And still the same method, the same process, like we created the HTML file, the CSS file, we are going to create our JavaScript file as well. We are going to create our JavaScript file. All right. I'm just going to leave the slide open and I'm not going to say anything. So I want to create a JavaScript file. JavaScript uses .js extension. So I'm going to just stop there. JavaScript uses .js extension. Click on your, create your JavaScript file. When you are done, in the chat box, put JavaScript. Put Java. Oh, Inolua. Thank you. I think for what is it called? You'll be consistent taking the lead now. That's a good one. I appreciate your consistency. Thank you, Treasure. All right. Go with me. Thank you. I like your style. Yes. All right, let's go, ladies. Oluwabukemi, you've created your .css file also. Go ahead and create your JavaScript file. Go ahead and create a JavaScript file. I can see you, Francisca. Go ahead and create your JavaScript file. Awesome. Awesome. Go ahead, go ahead. Thank you. Script.js. Thank you, David. Fine, so I can see you as well. Mrs. Wu, I dropped a message for you. Okay.
All right, good evening or good day, everyone. Let's get going here on the part two. Let's get the actual code going on. We have about 10 minutes and then you're going to be doing some questions and we'll pick it up for tomorrow. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. We'll be doing some online safety, adding an H1 and H2 and a button, putting in some categories of the clothing, shoes, hair, and jewelry. We're not creating any paragraphs. We will be using the strong element there and then add some images, although I don't think we have images in the folder, but let's not worry about that. And then we'll do an order button. Okay. Just make sure when you're online, don't give out any of your personal data. Communicate with only people you know. If any pop-ups ever come up, don't open them unless you absolutely know what's going on. And then if you encounter any cyberbullying or inappropriate content, you can block the site that it came from. Okay, so you can find this feature called the block, and you'll be able to click on that. But please just open, even with emails and anything, don't open emails that you don't know if somebody is telling you that they need some money or anything. So just please be safe with your internet, because viruses can come through and really wreak havoc. Okay. We are kind of doing two different things. I know the majority, I think, of you are doing the Android Code Studio, which is on the left-hand side right here. But if you're doing the Visual Studio Code, the code is going to be the exact same. So it doesn't really matter, just the way that you created your files, okay? Is anybody not using Code Studio? Just put in the chat if you're not. If you're not using Code Studio, just put in the chat that I'm not using Code Studio, okay? Please just put nots. No news is good news, so just for me, I don't want a whole bunch of yeses. Just put not if you're not using the Android Code Studio, please. Okay, so Anioluya, you would be using Visual Studio Code, but you're good to go. Just give me a yes that you are good to go, even though you're not using Code Studio, because what I'm going to teach you right now is the same. Okay. Okay, so took a quick, and I apologize. These screenshots are Visual Studio Code, but on the phone that I would be using, I'm doing Android. So right now on your Android phone, you would be clicking on your index.html right here. You can see that it's kind of up in blue right there. Okay. And so this is what you would be looking at. That's fine. You're using Visual Studio Code. That's fine. Okay. This is specifically Code Studio on Android. This is exactly what you would be looking at on your phone. Okay. We're going to focus right here on the title, and then we're going to give an H1. Okay. You can spend your time figuring out all of these buttons down here as well. Okay. When you're to move around the cursor, or however you want to move around the cursor. Okay. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to give it a title. Okay. You're going to find the title already written for you. This is not something you add. It's already done. If you're in Visual Studio Code, please, you probably have absolutely no code. Do the shift exclamation and hit enter, and everything will come up for you for Visual Studio Code. Okay. This is specifically targeting Code Studio on Android. It will already be up there. Okay. when you open your HTML, you already have your doc type and this little boilerplate. Okay. You are changing the title. Now remember, the title is only seen in the URL. You're not going to see this, okay? So name it whatever you want, okay? It can be named whatever you want, okay? It's just going to be in the little tab section up at the top. The Visual Studio Code, please let me know that you were able to get this boilerplate. It'll give you the doc type, the HTML, the head. You'll get some meta tags. You'll get the title. You'll get the head and body. That's it. You will not have an H1 in yours. You will have the title. Please type in the chat that you were able to do that. For the Code Studio, you have the H1. It says Hello World. Now, as you can see here, it's in a rows. I don't like it like that. You're going to learn how to, you want to code yours. So I backspaced all mine so it was in a nice row. I would encourage you to code this way. You see how the H1 is in a nice row. This will be the name of your store. You notice how it's in between your body tags. Okay. So for the Code Studio on Android, you actually haven't added any elements. Okay, you've changed the title from Hello World to whatever you want, and you've changed your H1 to the title of your store. This will actually be seen on your website. For Visual Studio Code, you will have to type in your H1. You can literally type in H1, hit the tab, and it will open up your it will give you your opening and your closing tags, and then you can type in between them, just like you did at school. Oh, and for Visual Studio Code, I guess we're going to have to talk to you about getting the extension for the, I'll talk with Miss O about that. I guess you're going to want the extension, either the Go Live or the, I can't think of the other one that we were using.
They can do the live preview.
Okay, the live preview. So we'll have to send that to you.
There's only one person, so at the end, maybe I can pull her into the
okay.
And quickly she can share her screen and we can guide her to do that.
Now, girls, I don't use my phone, and I know you are, so just let me know if if you need extra time, because this is going to be crazy that you're looking at our PowerPoint and then going to your thing. So not a worry. So please in the chat just say show again or tell me again. In Code Studio on your Android, up at the very top, you will see a little play button only when you're on your .html. So if for some reason you're in another folder, okay, you're not going to see that play. You can run the play and then it will show on your phone. Okay. And this is what you're going to see. Okay. You can see my fashion is all the way up at the top. Okay. So you will see up at the top, up at the very, very top in the black area, you will see your title. And then in the white area, you will see the name of your store. Whatever you want to be your template for the 4 categories that you will be doing: dress, shoe, hair accessories, and jewelry. Okay, you're going to be doing the same thing. In fact, you can copy paste it once you have it all and just copy paste it down. Okay. Now you have to do an H1 for the title. There's always an H1 on your page. That's it. We're done with H1. As you can see here, you're going to add a category. Now you can do the categories however you want. Again, dresses, shoes, jewelry, and hair accessories. I started with dresses. You can choose between an H2, an H3, an H4, an H5, and H6. As you can see, they're all written the exact same, except one's a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Okay, you're writing it below your H1, and you're doing everything inside of the body. Do not write any code below body in HTML. Do not write any code below body in HTML. Okay. I skipped line to make it a little bit easier for you to see. I would encourage you to do that, but it's up to you. Okay. So H2, dresses. Okay. Now, you don't have any images, so don't worry about that. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Okay. But and then click on the play. When you click on the play, you should see this. You should see your title really big, and then you should see a smaller font because I chose an H2, and it'll say the category. You're not going to have an image, so don't try to find your image. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, we have 3 more things that we need to do. A description, a price, and a button. Okay. Type in the chat if you need help. Type in the chat if you need help. This is exactly what you've done for the last 2 months when we were at school. Okay, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, again, you have an H1, that's the name of your store. Now you're adding an H2 or an H3 or an H4 or an H5. Play around with them. Okay. The only thing that you're changing, you're not adding all of them. You're only adding 1 line of code. This number 2 becomes a 3, 4, 5, or 6. That's it. No, you can write whatever you want. If you want to copy mine, that's fine. You type in the name in the white letters or whatever you want. The blue letters are guaranteed. You have to do the blue letters. You have to do the blue letters. The blue letters are the tags. The first one is guaranteed in H1, no other options. That is the title of your store. The H2 that I have, as you see on my screen, you have a choice. You can do either an H2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 1 line of code. That's it. Okay. If you don't have the doc type, then you should be doing the, let me see. I'm going to actually do it on my phone here and see what happens. I'm going to erase everything and test it out. I've never opened up the, I've never opened it up and not had it there. So I don't, let me just see. Yeah, I don't know, Miss O. It doesn't work for me when I put it in and then hit enter. Not on
Yes,
the
I noticed it
not
might not
on the
work for
Android
all.
for me.
Yes.
Because I don't even have it really and enter. I'm doing it right here. Let me
Did it come up
just,
for you automatically, the or did you remove it?
I removed it.
Is there a sample file, sample index file?
I
Are they-
have nothing. I put in the little
You
deal
put in
and
doc type?
I hit enter and it doesn't do anything.
Do-
So
Try and do doc type, see if it would come up. I don't know.
It didn't come up too.
The exclamation and then doc type.
Yes.
I'll look it up. Oh, it says it depends on the type of Android. All right, so they can type it in. If they type it in, what happens?
Yes, it works if they type it in.
well, I'm sure they can type it in.
All right, so we're just going to encourage them to type it in for now.
Okay. Well, can they just do the head and the title and the head and
Yeah,
just
we
forget
can
about
type-
the other?
Yeah. We start from the very beginning. If you can show, yeah, like we did for when they were in school, to type it in.
Just
Title.
if you don't have anything, whoever doesn't have it, Favor, are you using the Android one? Favor, put in a yes or a thumbs up that you're using the Android one. I can't, just type it in the chat, please. I can't hear.
All right, so for those people that are not seeing anything, we will, start from the beginning, typing from the beginning like we did in school. So don't worry about it. We'll just, start from the very beginning.
So you can do a head and then you can do title.
All right, so we're gonna start with the head and title like that. Please type it in. And then give it whatever title you want. Fashion Hub, SLA Fashion Hub. You can put your name and do Fashion Hub. You can say Favors Fashion Hub. You can call it what you want. But make sure you're calling it call it a name that depicts the project. All right. All right, so we're going to type it in and make it work. All right, thank you, everyone. I think we have to start wrapping up because I'm sure some of them may have other things to do after this.
Okay. Great. Favor says she sees it. Okay. All right, last one. If you have the images, don't worry about it. It's a little tricky, but the last thing you need to do is do a description. As you can see, I'm using another H, H2, H3, do not use H1 anymore. That's it. You only use one, you're done. Now you can then just add another H element, a heading 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Do a description. Do another H3 with a price.
Okay.
And then you write a button.
It says her types are not working.
Right. We will we'll send this video to you and get everything. And then tomorrow, all we're going to do is focus on this. So we'll just redo this.
Okay.
Toby, you want to share the